What's up guys, it's Meta. In my last video, I did say that I knew a thing or two about making meta builds, which is in fact true. Before we get into the video, I would highly recommend watching my video about uppercuts and its hidden use. Now with that out of the way, I decided to make this video because a lot of y'all don't know how to make good builds. I swear, y'all just be making builds along the way and expecting it to be a good one. Maybe decent, but it most likely won't be good. I'm gonna take the step-by-step approach on how to make a good build, and I'll tell you everything you need to know. Finally, let's get on to the video. Okay, so the first thing you need to do when making a build is make the build before you actually make it in game. Now I know this sounds a little weird and tedious, but this is the most important step in making a good build. Now I'm going to link this build creator in the description below. I highly recommend using it. Now for this example, I'm going to use my old guns build, which I created before. So I'm going to first choose the race. And you'd want to have a reason to be putting points into the certain attribute. Now, I'm going to go 50 fortitude for reinforce, 60 agility for tap dancer, 40 intelligence for overflowing dam, 50 willpower so I can get the unfazed, and 30 strength for lose your mind. And the rest of it I'm going to be keeping in my guns. Now let me explain to you why I have these. I'm going to be going blind seer so I can get lose your mind with the 30 strength, and with unfazed I can get 50 with the 50 fortitude and 50 willpower I can get unfazed. This is gonna be a no attunement build. I don't really make these pre-game because you can always change them and things like that. The boons that I usually go is autodidact, and it's always scrapper. You always want to have scrapper for the extra burn or freeze. Now the flaws that I usually get is hemophilia and squeamish. Now if you don't like hemophilia because of that blood bar, sorry, you can change it to whatever you want. But I highly recommend squeamish because it only works on mobs that you have to physically press B on and grip them. Now the only point in the game you'll actually notice this is when you're at the Duke's Manor, because you have to grip so many mobs. Now what I like to do is choose my talents to see like how hard it'll be to get the build. So I'm gonna start off with advanced. I'm not gonna get ghost because I'm getting tap dancer. For the rare cards, you can choose Eureka if you want to reroll as a rare, but I'm gonna choose it for now. So overflowing dam, perfect flash, evasive, grand support. I don't really like getting concussion. Some people do, but that's just you. Do whatever you want. Exoskeleton is a must. True either both is a must. Observation, safety dance. Lose your mind. Ward is a spite. Lightspeed reflexes, I like it, but a lot of people don't like it. Blood Iron Spirits, free health. Bulldozer, extra hit. Chronostasis, Scuba Drowner, Pervious Slumber. And since I'm no attunement, I'm also gonna get Return to the Dark Ages and Neuroplasticity and Speed. So if you look at the cards, these are only my rare cards, and seeing the number is only like 30. This should be a relatively easy build to obtain, since that's the only amount of rares you need. So I like to also choose my common talents, but you don't really need to, but I just want to see like how many common talents I can get. Now I don't recommend copying this build because it's really old, but it's still pretty good. Now you can see up here, there's only 47 talents that I want to get, and the rest of them is, you know, whatever, so I can get whatever I want here. Now I don't recommend picking out the talents that you get like automatically and things like that, because well, you're just gonna get them either way. Now the mantras, it's pretty simple. So you can count up your mantras since Blind Seer gives 1 wild card and 1 support. I can have an extra support and wild card, so I think I'm gonna have this along with. That's gonna be my wild card. Reinforces my support, and Mind Soothe can go with my support as well. And then I can have the rest in these two. This doesn't actually include the neuroplasticity, so you gotta keep that in mind. So I will be able to make this build, even though it says that I can't, but neuroplasticity gives a +1 wildcard, so that is possible. So I'm gonna name it Guns build. I'm gonna write it Shooty Shoot. And this looks like a pretty alright build. Make sure to have a reason to be putting your stats into something. Now, you can, the Shrine of Order talents or things are here, so if you want a Shrine of Order, you can click it here and it'll evenly divide all your stats. Now, I'm not gonna do Shrine of Order here, but you can load as pre-shrine, save as pre-shrine. I'm gonna just save as post-shrine just because, but you want to click here, export as a link, and save it somewhere that is safe. That being the first most important thing to making a good build is actually pre-making the build. Let's get on to the second most important thing to making a good build. Not a lot of people know the reason why they compressed the level down from 60 to 20. The real reason is that instead of having 5 investment points per level and having a hand given to you per level would make it harder to get the talents you want. For example, now it's 15 investment points per level and you can focus all that 15 investment points into Fortitude and boom, you have the exact requirements to getting Warriors this way. Now if we were in pre-Verse 2 update, we would have had to level up 3 times just to get the requirement for Warriors this way. My point being that it is way easier to reach the requirement for our talents that we want before we get given the talents. So why not utilize it? We can utilize this by taking a look back at the build we created earlier and decide which stats we're going to put in first. If I were to remake this build, I would put 25 agility first so I can get all the good agility talents like Speed Demon, Observation, and Blade Dancer. And then I would go 50 Fortitude non-stop and nothing else into any other attribute. Now this may sound a little hard to do if you're not doing Trial of 1, but this is the way. Focus all into one stat. And then once you're done with that stat, go to the next one. I'm actually going to be going in order here. Now once you're done your perfectly made Trial of 1 build, even if it's not completed to the end, it's alright, just follow me through this path. And I'll lead you to a quest that you can do to improve your progression. You'd want to just talk to this Ministry NPC looking guy and then walk back to the Trial of 1 door, and along the way you'll see this book. And pick up that book and then bring it back to him. Make sure to also be careful of the actual Ministry NPCs. Upon finishing this quest, I believe it gives around 6 aces, which are the things that allow you to burn/freeze cards. What I usually do when making a build is that I go to Etris, buy all the equipment needed, and then go to Hive to farm. If you can't fight a Hive, that's alright, anywhere else works, but Hive is probably the most efficient place to farm besides the depths. There was a new NPC added since Verse 2 that a lot of you aren't abusing enough. He spawns at Etris, Summer, Tassel Light, Voidheart, and Grey Hive, as well as Miner's Landing, which no one goes to. He quite literally gives you the cards that you ask for. What more do you want than that? If you're going Reinforced Armor and you're missing half of the Bastion talent, you can just ask him. And in your next few rolls, he'll give you the Bastion talents to choose from. Now, what I like to do when progressing is, I like to have the Deepbook and Wiki talents list which you can look up on Google by typing Deepwoken Talents, and the Deepwoken Mystic open, so I can see the answers to his riddles. You can also press Ctrl F to search up things quickly instead of scrolling and finding it yourself. This helps with finding the category the talents that I'm looking for is in, and I can look at the riddle for the category of talents that I want. To summarize everything I have said right now, make sure to pre-make your build, focus your stats into one stat to get the requirements for your cards, and do the Aces quest. Once your build is done, you can also reroll your unnecessary talents at the shrine and get what you're missing, or cards that give health to boost your overall health. And really the last step to a good build is just getting good equipment. Now, I'm not going to expect you to get like 40 plus HP equipment like I have, because I got really lucky, but a good around 20-ish is good.
Okay guys, I got kidnapped by a couple of guys, and they told me if this video doesn't hit 1,000 likes, then every like, I'm gonna stay here for an hour less. So please, I have a wife and kids, so this will really help me. What's that noise? Ah!